My name's Darren, I'm an alcoholic.
Darren.
Thank you, Tony, for inviting me, and happy birthday, guys. And my sobriety date is September 19th, 2013. I went through the BG, found my home group over there at the Pasadena Sunrise, that's 6:15 a.m. meeting. I went through the steps. My sponsor took me through. The way my sponsor worked with me is the way I've worked with others, which is we're not friends, texts don't count, you call every day, you miss, not so much a call, but you miss a commitment or something, you get a strike, you get 3 strikes, you get a new sponsor, And, I didn't strike out. I've had, unfortunately, some guys don't want, it's not his way, it's the way. I mean, it's the way. It's, there's a lot of important phrases, one day at a time, but, rarely have we seen a person fail that's thoroughly followed the path. And, the monkey see, monkey do part of it, like that I could, I got to the point where I was willing to do that. And that was the thing. Kind of the gift for me is that I got into the BG, August 5th of 2013. I got 30 days, went back to Burbank. Didn't really find meetings that I liked. My wife pissed me off. There was a half a bottle of Jack in my music room, and I drank it, and it was like, oh shit, what did I do? Did I break my sobriety? And like 2 days later, I'm at the coke dealer's place. He's like, I thought you went to rehab. I'm like, nah, it was for alcohol. And then I went on. I had the good fortune. I had the good fortune of actually going on a run, like with the head full of AA, the belly full of Jack and Coke or Coke and Jack, depending on which order I ingested them. But basically, and then it was like, I want to go back. I fucking hate this. This is like, I get it now. I had to learn about the allergy, and then learning about it, and then going back out and really, really experiencing it. Fortunately, that happened in a short period of time. Arnaldo, you shared about, having 29 years and going out and coming back. Like, man, I love you, man. The integrity and the courage to come up here and just to share that, like that. When people share about that stuff, man, I think everybody's ears really perk up, one day at a time. Do I got this today? I do. Tomorrow I'll get back on the bike and I'll do what I'm doing. I'll do that tomorrow also. I'll just keep staying connected, going to meetings. Going through the steps. I love the step 2. Like, you do the paperwork and I did I don't know if it's like Steps for Dummies, but it's the whole paperwork. Like, there's different books, right? But it's the same stuff, and you go through, and at the end of step 2, it's like, list the most insane things you ever did, drinking, and you're listing like, got arrested on my son's 10th birthday, spent the night in jail in Catalina, all this fucking pitiful, incomprehensible demoralization. But like, the most insane thing you ever did is like being completely stone sober, and that was like knowing full well what was going to happen, and you went ahead and started drinking anyway, knowing full well what was going to happen, and I've done that, we all have done that, and just going through the steps and learning, coming to, realize that, like, willpower alone doesn't really get you. Like, I got 5 months once, and I was really, fucking proud of myself. I got 5 months without drinking. That was really hard. It was in 2010, and then, whatever, it doesn't matter what happened, but what happened was I drank and just went fucking crazy, and then wanted to kill myself, and then, I had those moments where, like, whether it was switching from scotch to brandy or whatever, or like, no, I got this, man, I can control this. I'm like, fuck, I could not control it, right? My 40th birthday, I quit cigarettes, and I fucking still haven't smoked a cigarette in 19 years. I could not quit alcohol by myself. Like, I could fucking switch that off, but with alcohol, I could not switch that off. I just fucking couldn't do it, and I would go on, I would drink, and anybody a morning drinker here? You know, I would wake up, and I thought, man, I'd wake up like 2 Coors Light. My kids are like 3 and 4 and 8, you know, and I'm getting them to school, brushing their hair, 2 Coors Light, you know. Go to work, come, you know, get an 18 pack and a bottle of Jaeger on the way home, and just kind of do that every day. Kind of, you know, sort of manage that. You gotta have one slow, one fast, you know, you have it right, you got it all figured out. And, you know, and then the incomprehensible, pitiful, incomprehensible demoralization shit, you know, and, you know, the one place I don't feel so bad recalling that is here, like in a room of Alcoholics Anonymous, you know, like that shit really did happen. I don't want to forget that shit, but I don't want that shit in my head, you know, driving me crazy and making me, you know, have, you know, positive mental attitude, you know. I love, you know, 86 and 87, you know, and I really like you know, gradually becomes a working part of our mind, like the inspiration and the hunch, and it's like the clear, you know, so I'm 11 years sober. It took a few years, man, before like I really got, you think you're clear, but that's whatever, at the pink cloud, but it takes a little while. But if you keep doing this, it gets a lot better, like a lot better. And you just keep, you know, my family life, you know, I've got 3 boys they were 11, 13, and 17 when I got sober. So 11, 13, 17, they saw a lot of shit, you know, and look, you know, it is what it is. It happened. That was pretty good education for them. My oldest one might be one of us. My 2 younger ones, maybe not so much. You know, I'm still with my wife's still with me, you know. I got sober at like, I fucking hated my job. I own my own business. You know, I hated my wife, been with her since we were 15 and 16. Fucking hated life. I hated everything. And it's not that way anymore. Like you said, like, unbelievable. Like, my wildest dreams are pretty wild, like probably most people. My wildest dreams were private plane, playing music, traveling around the world, fucking girls and snorting cocaine all day, you know? Now it's just being comfortable in my own skin and a family, you know, and just having some fucking integrity, you know, and dignity and not, you know, not being afraid, you know, and yeah, I get afraid, I get anxiety, but that's, you know, there's a growth in there and you kind of overcome that. Yeah, I walk in here, I'm a little nervous. I don't know all you guys, but I know all you guys. You guys know me, right? You know? We have that common thing, so it doesn't take long when you're in this room and you feel pretty fucking comfortable, you know? But where am I going from here? You know, being around alcohol and not, you know, at first, no alcohol in the house. You know, my son's got all his friends at the tiki bar for football on Sundays, and it's like, Jesus Christ, you know. And then I'm getting fucking peppers out of my crisper, my refrigerator, there's all these White Claws in there. And you know, part of me's thinking like, you fucking pussies drinking White Claws, like, you know what I'm saying? Weird, like, what is real alcohol? What's this shit, you know? And but you know, no, I can travel. You know, we go to Europe every year. I can travel around to where like drinking is pretty fucking normal, right? It's pretty normal. And I don't drink, and I'm sitting at a table, and my 3 sons and my wife are all having drinks, and I'm not. And it fucking feels great. It feels great. It's just like, because I was drunk at the table, and no one was drinking, and like I like this life, like where I'm at now. You know, I grew up playing guitar. I have a fitness supplement brand. You know, I had the blues because I didn't become Eddie Van Halen. There's only one, by the way.
Not anymore.
But you know, and you know, but today, you know, I'm playing music. I'm running my business. You know, my wife and I get along great. My boys, you know, 2 of them work for me. You know, I'm putting a lot of good tread over those old roads of the stuff that, you know, I did and who I was and who I am now. It's just who I am, you know, every day. You know, I've got a pretty good routine in my life that anybody ever talks to me knows me, like, I do this thing where I get on the Peloton and I go like crazy for 30 minutes, but I read spiritual books like Emmett Fox, Napoleon Hill, Subconscious, Conscious Mind, Manifestation. Like, I love this shit. And I'm just, there's a well of spirituality that I just keep going into that well and pulling up pails of water. And really, this is not an enemy. This is the most powerful thing in the history of the world. It's the person using it, how you, and to learn better how to use this thing is amazing. And you can live, you can live a life of choice, but you can only do that sober. You can't do that. You can't do that half faded. You can't do it faded. You can't, it doesn't work. But, I didn't know how diseased and how fucked up I was, like the wet brain thing. And, I would go on like 9-day benders and I'd be at the fucking hospital again getting an IV. The guy's like, hey, did I see you here last week? I couldn't stop drinking, and it's just, I'd get on a bender and I could barely, like, maybe get most of the day without only having a couple, waking up with the shakes. I mean, holy shit, how did that happen? It's just, right, it's progressive. It wasn't like that. I played music on the road throughout my 20s, and like, I never drank during the day, I mean, my sobriety date is the day before my 48th birthday, so guys that don't get sober till later in life, I mean, I don't know if it makes it any easier or any better, but I used up all my drink tickets, man. I used up all my ride all day passes. I used up all of them, I no regrets, I did all this stuff, whatever, love the life now, being connected with other alcoholics and having like a great network of friends is really amazing. And just calling up a guy, and checking on him, and then you hang up and you feel better, like everything just works better by just doing that. It's like, and everywhere you go, there we are. There's so many alcoholics that, like, whether my business or like the music stuff, I mean, all around me. We're everywhere. It's amazing when you're in this thing and you're doing this thing, like you run into a lot of people, like but it's like the revelation of going to a Dodger game not drinking, and I realized, wow, there's a lot of people here that actually aren't drinking. But when you're there drinking, you think everyone else is too, right? That's the thing. But when you're sober, you realize there's a bunch of us out there, really. There really are, Especially when you get older and you're playing music. The only guys that are older playing music are probably sober, because the other ones are dead, pretty much. It's kind of how that is, But that's it's been, life is, it's different than what I imagined that I wanted it to be, but it's better, that I'm able to, my plate's fun. I'm full. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I get to do so many different things, and I'm running a business. I got all kind of shit that comes up that fucking pisses me off, and there is a solution, right? The sooner you can get into a solution and just start in the right direction, like the shit goes away, So I learned a lot, definitely had to grow up, and right, you get sober and you start like actually maturing into like a grown-up, and you realize that you do things without seeking acknowledgement. I mean, that's to me like the definition of a man. When I see my dad's 87, and I look at him and it's just like there's a man that like does what needs to be done without seeking acknowledgement. That's the guy I want to be. I want to be like that. I just see guys in the program, guys that are service and help others. They're not. It's altruistic. They're not looking for any kind of. It's not what it's about. And it's amazing, but so I'm following the path. There's so many, 28 years, 16 years, and you learn from so many guys. It's great. So why am I a grateful alcoholic? Because it's like you hear that phrase, you go, what the fuck? But I would not have been turned on. I wouldn't have, if I kept hitting the guardrails and getting back on the road. I needed to go over the cliff and into the ravine, right, and get to the point where then I can climb up this new higher plane, this higher thought life, and when you get up in there, like these people that you run into are pretty cool and inspiring, and you learn from people, and not having so much shit between your ears, you can actually like learn stuff from people and pick up things, and one of the topic I think I'd like to, I love the golden rule, one of the great one, right? Law of attraction, love that. There's so many, do more than you're paid to do. Things like spiritual laws. Really, I just love that stuff because there's like a little thing that you can think about it and how it applies And there's a neat thing that kind of happens in there, but like the law of attraction, like you are what you think about most of the time. And you attract, who you are, you kind of attract. So if you're, heads down kicking sand, and you're having a bad day, you're always, you're not having a bad day. It's just a fucking moment, man. It's just a moment. It's not a day. Just get over it, and so, just the law of attraction and how that works for you, like what you think about that, or if it's something that I just thought that's going to be a topic for today, would be law of attraction. Kind of starting there. Thanks for letting me share, everybody.
Right on.